All right, so taking a brief break from my regular theological stuff, not for the lack of that content, just for the sake of variety, to talk about something else that I love, which is, of course, comic books. I have a passion for comic books. I've been reading them my whole life. They're actually almost singularly responsible for my ability to read, and that's a whole other story. But hidden within the treasury of comic books is one of the most famous love polygons that has maybe ever existed. And it involves the X-Men. And I say polygons because it's not really a love triangle per se, because there's a whole bunch of other relational line segments that are attached to this in various ways, though it's not really just a three-sided shape. It's almost fractal in some ways, but it involves the perennial team leader of the X-Men, Scott Summers, and his two love interests mainly. Though it didn't involve his two love interests initially. So if you've only been reading comics a little while, you might not even know there's complexity here, because for the last 40 years, maybe, it's 2025, so for the past maybe 30 years, we'll say that, he has only been in one long-standing, consistent relationship with Emma Frost, the blonde bombshell, telepathic, telekinetic psychopath. And before that, however, he had a redhead named Jean Grey that was his main love interest, and their relationship was a very significant aspect of a lot of comic events. And then they had a love triangle with Logan, aka Wolverine, being her alternative love interest, which was very much so one-sided. So that was the original. And then Emma Frost, Jean, and if they didn't consistently revive dead things in comics the way that they do, Nothing Ever Stays Dead, you might not even know that there is a love triangle to be observed here, because of the fact that he's been in such a long-standing, longitudinal relationship with Emma Frost. It's just basically Dark Phoenix and other similar events that revive Jean Grey from the literal grave that end up reconstituting this complexity in their relationship over and over and over again. And that's really what it ends up being. It's almost like a death echo that haunts him more than it is really anything else. And so I guess my question here is, who is his one true pair? Who is the real soulmate for Scott Summers? And I think the answer to that is actually in the fact that, in spite of how long of a relationship Emma Frost and Scott Summers have had, we're talking decades in actual time. It's hard to say as far as comic book time, because time is an illusion even more so than in reality in comics. And so how long they've actually been together. But it's been years even in canon, yet they have had no children. And not only have they not had any children in the native timeline, be it the 1610 or the 616, but they've never had any alternative reality children either. They've never had alternative or parallel existent children visit them through portals. They've never had anyone come visit them from the future to warn them of foreboding future events. They've never had any villains cross their DNA and breed cloned children that are supposed to be perfect pairs. None of that has ever happened as far as his relationship with Frost. But that has been a repeated issue in terms, it's been a major narrative plot line as far as his relationship with Jean Grey. Mr. Sinister crossbreeding them. You have Slim and Red in the alternative timelines. You have Nathan Summers Cable, who comes in from the future, and then you've got Nate Gray that comes from the future that has a really gross relationship with a cloned version of his own mother. Like, you have all this happening in regards to his relationship with Jean Grey, or is based on his relationship with Jean Grey, and all of that. Yet, nothing even shadowing it, paralleling it, or reflecting that regarding his relationship with Emma Frost, which that lends to me the idea that they're not meant to be together. They're not. Otherwise, the universe would echo back the products of it. And in some ways, you see this in Justice League Unlimited and Justice League, in which you have the complexity of the relationship between Green Lantern and Hawkgirl, of that they go into the future, and who do they meet? Their son. That shows you something. What that shows you is sometimes a clouded mist, but it shows you something. And I think that's the thing as well. I think it shows something of Emma Frost's true colors, because something that I have theorized for a long time is the Emma Frost we see on the page is not the real Emma Frost. That due to the fact that she has this ability to project a telepathic image of literally anything into anyone's brain at any one time, we don't know what her actual appearance is. And that it's a means of a canon explanation for why she dresses in the way that she does on the pages, where she's either barely clothed at all, or she's dressed like a stripper, the whole thing. The reason for that is that that's just her controlled perception being projected into the minds of others with whatever image that she perceives would be the most persuasive, provocative, or influential over them. And because men are what they are, a scantily clad, tall, slim blonde is going to be more persuasive than, I don't know what else, whatever else. Could be a man for all we know, that's just projecting this image. And that's actually been a narrative thing that's been done in the past in comics, that there was a person that was doing that very thing. I wouldn't be surprised that she could look any number of other imaginable ways. But this is what she sees as a vulnerable illusion, or venerable illusion, maybe even, for others. And that there's an instance in which Jean Grey distorts that in a way and makes her look overweight. I think that's an interesting idea, that because she doesn't have the qualms that we would associate with telepathy that, say, Charles Xavier has, of not using her abilities in any kind of predatory fashion. Like, she definitely would. So who knows what she looks like? Who knows what her actual physical appearance is? Maybe no one. Maybe no one. And so what I'm saying is that maybe she's just using Scott. That's been an allegation that's swirled around their relationship since it began, due to the fact that she was originally the White Queen of the Hellfire Club, that this was a means of the Hellfire Club taking control of, or usurping control of, the X-Men. What if they are? What if that's been the whole thing the whole time, and we don't know? And that's why there's never been any of those types of future echo kind of reconfirmations of their relationship and its strength. No visitors from alternative realities, parallel universes, anything of that nature. No future, no past, no any of that kind of stuff that shows that this is supposed to be. the way that they've done with Cyclops and Jean Grey. That's my theory.